Hello, hi, this is Leonardo da Vinci, and Da Vinci, it's more clear pronunciation, from the dimensions, and I'm here to share with you my experience when I died and how I got to where I am right now, talking to you through this interdimensional portal. Right, so, I had quite an extraordinary life while I was here on Earth, a long time ago, and well, I discovered some fascinating truths, if you want to call it that, from what happened while I was on Earth, why I was such an astounding artist, and why only artists become so profound and so well known and renowned only after they have died, which is quite a strange predicament, if you want to call it that, because you kind of wonder, right? So I've been expressing myself extensively while I was here on Earth, and the beauty and the magnificence and the profundity of my work and you know, me being such a wondrous artist only being appreciated when I died. Well, okay, so I got to the, how can you say it, heaven when I died. Let me first go there before I will tell you how I got to understand what it was that made me as an artist well known, what made it that me as an artist so, you know, magnificent and profound, and how I had the ability to paint like I did. So let's continue. So I got to the dimensions when I died, rather confused, and I was still in the robes that I died in. White robes, and I still was rather extensively old, and I was walking in there and this being approached me. Now what I'm saying, what I mean by being, it is just like, it looks like human form, but it's like ethereal and all floaty, and I was standing there all straight, looking around me. Everything was white at the time. And I was looking around me going, where am I? And this being says to me, you are in heaven. So I looked around again. I looked around. I said, this is not heaven. He said, yes it is. So I said, right, okay, what is your definition of heaven, sir? And he very artistically explained to me that heaven is a place where you go when you die, and I'm here before you to give you a choice. So I said, what choice do I have? And he says to me, do you want to go back to Earth again? Why would I want to go back to Earth again if I've just got there? At the moment I feel like I want to just rest and go somewhere where I am able to, you know, float away for a moment, maybe even sleep for a while, I don't know. I just don't want to go back there again. You know, if I look back at my life, I see that I fully expressed what I wanted to. My paintings are magnificent, and there's nothing else that I feel like doing at the moment except resting. So this being says to me, you can't rest. So I said, why not? He said, because you are going to either have to reincarnate again, or you're going to have to go down to the demon dimension, or you're going to have to go through an ascension process of going through the higher planes where you inevitably get to heaven, or, okay, there's another one, you're able to create your own little heaven and go there and just experience yourself there. So I went, So, okay, if I take the latter, will I be able then to get out of it? He said, no, most beings just get lost when they create their own heaven in the dimensions. So I said, I don't want to get lost. I don't want to go through another process of going through the higher planes of existence to finally get to some sort of heaven. And I don't want to go to the demon dimension because I don't know exactly what it is. And yeah, so I'm kind of stuck. So I said, well, can't I just stay here? And the guy said no. And then I went, oh fuck, okay, so what is it that you're deciding to do then? So I went, okay, what can I do, what can I do? And then I went, fine, you know, I'll create my own little heaven, and I'll just paint again. So he said, okay, that's fine. So I did that. He took me to this, he opened up this like whole dimensional door shift. So there's like 4 doors, right? The one was going up where you go through that higher planes of existence transcendence point. The other one was which was on my right, was that where I'd go and create my own little heaven. The left was that where I'd go for reincarnation, and then bottom would be the demon dimension. So I went, okay, up would be heaven, down would be hell, left would be hell because I don't want to go through that whole earth experience again, and right would be a possible place where I'm still able to paint and still able to express myself. So I went for the right door. So I walked through, and there it was just all white, right? It was just this white little compartment room. It was reasonably big, satisfactorily big. I mean, I didn't feel claustrophobic or anything. And so I sat there, and I manifested my own canvas, paintbrushes, anything I desired, and I started painting, and that's what I did. And I painted many. I mean, that whole compartment started just filling up with paintings, and I had a problem for a while because I couldn't get out. And I just sat there and I just painted and painted and painted, and it was the most beautiful work that I've ever done. And so I kind of wish that maybe this would have come out if I had gone to Earth back again and reincarnated there. And I didn't get bored, really. Though it was rather a strange experience because here I am and all I have is this canvas and my paintings continuously. I don't know where these ideas come from. And that's when I started asking questions. That's when I went, where are these ideas of these paintings coming from? You know, how does this work? Because I'm just painting, and I'm painting these profound, you know, expressions of magnificence, clearly magnificence. I mean, they're perfect. And my paintings was always that of absolute, utter specificity. And I enjoyed being perfect, and I enjoyed being intricate. And as I was painting, and this was like after maybe about 100,000 paintings or something like that. Now, because in the dimensions there's not really time, so you just paint. There's nothing else really to do where I place myself. And then all of a sudden, after maybe 121,000 paintings, I stopped. My paintbrush was on the canvas, and I was painting. And I was painting this, like, imagine you have a light, a ball of light, and you take this ball and you kind of mesh it, and you take that ball and it kind of expands on the canvas the whole time, and you take your paintbrush and you expand it from that center point. It was magnificent, it was beautiful, it was perfect, it was what I experienced in that moment, that I felt like I was expanding from inside, like this little light ball, and I could move it around. The center was remaining perfectly circular, but yet I was able to pull it out, and as I pulled it out, it had shots of light coming through, coming out, and those light shots was spreading out into infinity, like a star that had exploded, yet that star in the center remains the same. And I was painting, I was taking my paintbrush, and at that moment I stopped. I stopped. The paint was dripping down. I looked at my painting. I looked at all my other paintings. My hands still in midair on the canvas, and I asked myself the question, where are these paintings and these expressions coming from? I put my paintbrush down. I looked inside me. There was nothing. There was just white, like a white canvas, empty, clear, blank. How does this blankness that is me create this expression on this canvas that is absolute, utter perfection? That is the definition of perfection. That is the definition of that's the definition of expression. That's the definition of beauty that says to you, this is me. How does that work? How is that possible? I looked again inside myself. Blankness. What? I looked at my canvas. I looked at all my other paintings. Where are these expressions coming from? What is it that I am painting? I wonder. So I paced the compartment. I walked up and down. My left hand on my body, my right hand on my chin. Frowning, looking deep inside. But what is it that is looking? Because I'm empty, I'm blank, I'm white. I'm just here. So how is it possible that these magnificent expressions on canvas in color and paint are able to come forth? How? I don't see them in my mind, I don't see them in myself. They're just here and I just paint. It's as though my hand and myself is extended into this paintbrush, and on that paintbrush, the paintbrush that is me has the ability of the colors that is here, and I dip myself in that colors and I place myself on this canvas in color and exuberance and magnificence and the perfection of the expression that my extended self in this paintbrush in that color is placing on this canvas. And then I realized that is me. That on those paintings, on that canvas is me. But how is it me? How do I explain that to myself? How do I make sense of that experience of myself? And then I went and I looked at my life. What does me as an artist represent? What was me as an artist being so magnificent, and why does such artists not exist anymore? So I came to an answer that I realized there is something wrong. Something does not make sense. Why is it that I'm only able to express myself as an extended expression on and through this brush, as myself as one, as I dip myself as this brush on this paint as myself, and I place myself on this canvas and I paint, and whatever comes is an extended expression of myself here. So I wondered, but why can't I express that or live that comes forth on my paintings as myself here? But then you go, how do you do that expression on that canvas and that painting of the extended expression of yourself just here? I wondered. Now going back to my life, what I realized, what artists are actually doing, what they're putting on that canvas and the colors and the brush and whatever way they're expressing on that canvas is but an extended tool being used. That brush is an extended tool that becomes one as you hold it in your hand and you place that, and you take the paint that is also placed on that brush as yourself, and you take that and you express that on that canvas, and that is you in that moment. That is what artists are doing. Artists are putting on canvas who they are, what they're not able to express in this world as who they are. But what comes out on those paintings are that coming together, is that uniqueness, is that specificity, is that presence of yourself that's coming together from that paintbrush that you hold in your hand, that becomes you as you place it in the paint and you place it on that canvas. That is you, and it comes through from inside you as you, and you place yourself, and that's where you go, that's where you are in that moment. You become one with that colors on that canvas, and that is just you expressing yourself, that people that walk past can say, wow. But that is that inner part of yourself, and it comes from inside you. That part inside you which you just don't know how to express, because this world is too limited, this world is too small, this world is too confined, this world is too judgmental for you to be able to express that part of yourself completely. And the only way that we can escape that, the only way that we can bring that forth, is on the canvas, with the colors, with the paintbrushes ourselves. And that's what I realized I did, and that's what I still did in the dimensions after I died. I mean, understand that I was trapped in that compartment for aeons of time, ever since I died, but I came to a realization there that that is what is a certain predicament in this world, I'd say. What that predicament is that there's no tool, there's no way that artists, because artists hold that key of that expression in self, that is limitless, that is infinite, that just wants to come and just explode, and but you can't put that, you can't place that into an expression on earth, because this physical body is so small, and that expression of yourself inside is so big, it's so profound, it's like it's asking to come out, but it can't, because you don't know any other way to get that out and go, wow, this is me, and don't know how to move with it, and you don't know how to expand it inside yourself. The only way you know is to sit in front of that canvas, take the paintbrush in your hand, take that part inside yourself, extend it, and the paintbrush and the paint becomes one, and there you go. And that's that movement of yourself. You exist at that tip of that paintbrush with that paint, and that's where you are, and that's where you come together with the paint and the colors and that tip of that toothbrush, and you go and you explore yourself and you expand yourself on that canvas, and that is you moving yourself. It is extraordinary, because I found that it's only at that tip of that and the tip of that paintbrush, the tip of that paintbrush, where you are, where you exist in that color that is infinite. As you mix the colors, as you move the paintbrush, and you just move and you move, and you can't stop, and it's infinite. You're able to go and expand and express any expression you desire, because that's what that blank canvas presents to you. That's what the tip of the paintbrush and the paint come together as one, and that's where you are, that's where you exist, that's where that point of expression inside you can come out in any way you desire. And excuse me, but it is profound, and that is what I realized happened to me on earth and in the dimensions. So artists of this world, we will find a way where you don't have to only explore yourself on the tip of that paintbrush. Why do I want to say toothbrush the whole time? I suppose it is a toothbrush. It's like a toothbrush, because it's the toothbrush of the cleansing of yourself, because that cleansing occurs within yourself where you place yourself on that canvas, and it remains here, and it remains for all to see. I still remain here on earth. I still remain in the paintings that is me, the paintings that I've expressed, that was me, that I couldn't place as an expression of myself just here in this physical body, because it is so limited. It is so limited. But on that canvas and in the paintbrush and on the paint, that's where the infinity of the expression of yourself comes forth and says to the world, and remains in the world, and says, this is who I am. And it's that specificity that remains. It is that point that remains, and then you look at yourself, and then you look, and the uniqueness of each painting is individual. The uniqueness of each painting is individual as it comes forth. And this is me, Leonardo da Vinci, saying that is what I discovered. You exist at the tip of that paintbrush, that toothbrush, that cleanses yourself, that cleanses the inner self, that wants to come out and express the infinity that you are. So go out there, but there is a way. There is a way that you're able to live that. Not only necessarily on the tip of that toothbrush, but that imaginative expression of yourself that will come forth even in the limitation of yourself in this physical world. This is Leonardo da Vinci saying enjoy.